to mitigate today. If you could remember, the last time we spoke about the Solat, I mentioned about how to make a dua after the adhan. And we were talking about that before the time ended that day. But for today, we will just go over the durud after the adhan again. And if you could remember, I said the durud after the adhan is Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. So the meaning is, O Allah, let your peace come upon Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the family of Muhammad, as you have sent peace upon Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasallam and his family. Truly, you are praiseworthy and glorious. So this is the meaning of this road. Let's make sure that we memorize it. It's very good that we say this after the adhan. Then after that, we would say the dua for adhan. This dua is very important. It's very, very important. In the riwayah, in the hadith of Bukhari and Muslim, where this adhan is, this dua is found, it says, whoever says, Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala Allahumma rabba di da'watamma wa salatu qa'ima at Muhammadan wa sina wal fadila wa ba'athuhu maqama mahmudan ladhi wa'ata. He said, hallat lahu shafa'ati yawm al-qiyamah. Hallat lahu shafa'ati yawm al-qiyamah. That is to say, whoever says this after the adhan for salah is entitled. He is entitled to my shafa'ah, to my expiation on the day of resurrection. Can you imagine that? And we should understand that on that day, on the day of resurrection, when people would be in turmoil, they'll be in trouble, they'll be in a very tremendous, tremendous state. They would be finding people to come and help them to get them into the paradise. And Allah says in this, when the Prophet which the hadith which the Prophet collected from Allah, because we call this hadith hadith which Allah told directly to the Prophet about what he is going to do on the day of resurrection. So we call them a hadith Qudsi. In that hadith Qudsi, Allah said that whoever says these things after the adhan has been called, he is entitled to my shafa'ah. And Allah said also that there is nobody on the day of resurrection, when people will be fed up about the situation, the state they are in, they would be going to all the prophets to help them to beg Allah to make to start the accounting, because they will have been standing for years, depending on what the hadith says. That when people will have been standing for a long time, they will be fed up of the standing, and they would want Allah to start the world, to start the accounting, so that they can even know where their own decision will be, either the paradise or the hell. Allah forbid for us to enter the hell. So they would go to all the prophets who Allah had sent, starting from Prophet Adam, from Noah, to all the prophets, till it gets to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of them would say no, they cannot do it, because Allah is really annoying today. Annoyance that he had not been annoyed is not been annoyed like that before, and he will never be infuriated again after today. So the meaning is that everybody, including me and you, we would be looking for who is going to expiate for us before Allah to be an image of paradise. And the Prophet will say, Ummati, Ummati, Ya Rabbi Ummati. Oh my ummah. My ummah is the most thing in my heart. My ummah is the greatest thing in my heart. And I want you to help me to make sure that all my ummah enter the paradise, except who has decided not to enter. So Allah will accept the shafa'ah, And it's been said that on that day, a lot of Muslims will enter the paradise, except the people who are decided not to enter. And these are the people who failed to follow the path of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the earth's surface. So the meaning of all this is Allahumma rabba hadhihi da'wa. That you're saying Allahumma rabba hadhihi da'wa. Say that after me, everybody, please. Allahumma rabba hadhihi da'wa.
rabba hadhihi da'wa.
Allahumma رب هذه الدعوة التامة
رب هذه الدعوة
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة
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 والصلاة قائمة
والصلاة قائمة
آت محمد
آت محمد
الفضيلة
الفضيلة
آت محمد الوسيلة
آت محمد الوسيلة
والفضيلة
والفضيلة
وابعثه مقاما محمودا
وبعثه مقام محمود
الذي وعدته
الذي وعدته
اللهم رب هذه رب هذه الدعوة التامة
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة
اللهم رب هذه
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة
والصلاة القائمة
والصلاة قائمة
آت محمد وسيلة
آت محمد الوسيلة
آت محمد وسيلة
آت محمد الوسيلة
والفضيلة
والفضيلة
وابعثه مقاما محمودا وابعثه مقاما محمودا محمودا الذي وعدته So I'm going to read Arabic to you 2 times. So after the class, take your time to memorize it. It's very good for you to do. Allahumma rabba hadhihi ad-da'wati at-tamma was-salati al-qa'imah ati Muhammadin wasila wal-fadila وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا وسيلة ويسي آت محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. If you want to break it down, it's easier for you. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. So I'll try to make sure you spend your private time to memorize it so that you can always say that after the adhan so that you can be okay. Alhamdulillah, even the hadith is here. It says, O Allah, Lord of the complete prayer of ours, by the blessing of it, give Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam his eternal right of intercession, the extinction and highest class in the paradise, and raise him to the promised rank you have promised him. Jabir radiallahu anhu is the one who collected the hadith in Bukhari. He said, reported that Allah's messenger as saying, if anyone says when he hears adhan, O God, Lord of the Prophet's call and of the Prophet prayer, which is established for all time, grant Muhammad al-wasila and his excellency, and raise him upon the praiseworthy position which you promised him, he will be assured of my intercession. So for us to be assured of Allah's the Prophet's intercession, so that for all of us to be entitled to the intercession of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of resurrection, we must make sure we say all this dua after the what? After the adhan. So now al-iqama. Iqama means qama yakum iqamatan is got from standing. Qama is stood. Iqam yani yakum is standing. Iqamatan the way it stands. Iqama is a second call to prayer. And it's been uttered immediately before the beginning of the obligatory prayer. Now it's been offered before the obligatory salah, which is often in congregation, and the text for the iqama is almost the same as the text for the adhan, except that in the iqama you have to say some other things like qad qamatis salatu, which is not in the adhan. So the voice for the iqama is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So we have a lot of collection about how to make the iqama. Some said we can say the iqama 2 times like the adhan also, and some said we can say it 1 time. Like for example, when you say Allahu Akbar, you can also repeat it again, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you can repeat it again, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Hayya ala salat, Hayya ala salat, Hayya ala falah, Hayya ala falah, Qad qamatis salat, Qad qamatis salat, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. So you can repeat it like 2 times the way you did in the adhan, or you make it once like you've seen here. Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, Qad qamatis salah, Qad qamatis salah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. So this is the way the iqama has been made. So let's say it after me.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Yes. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, Qad qamatis salah, Qad qamatis salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. So, and sometimes you can combine these words together. You can say قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. So you can say that sometimes, and you can also say it like قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. So this is the way to make the iqama. So, and the meaning of the iqama is Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest. I bear witness that there is no deity to worship except Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger of Allah. Hayya ala salah, come to prayer, come to your good. Jama'ah is ready. Qad qamat as-salah means the people are ready to pray. Jama'ah is ready. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, La ilaha illallah. So this is the way to make a comma. And the text for the comma is the same as mentioned in the hadith of Abdullah bin Zayd bin Abdul Rabih, who was the first to have the vision about the adhan. So that was the same way we got the word, we got the comma. So, and after that, we will go to chapter 4, which is about the conducting of the salah itself. How do you, what are the things to put in place when you want to pray? Like many people are not aware of this. You see some people trying to pray in the middle of the road. Like you see people passing by, going up and down, and yet you're praying you're praying there, and people are walking in front of you. This is not too good. Before a person starts to pray, he should place something a short distance in front of him. That thing is called a sutra. What do I call it? It's called a sutra. What do I say? The sutra is like something of like the should be the length of your forearm or taller or longer than it. It should be placed in front of you before you start praying, because there must not be, no one must be moving in front of you when you're praying, except the person who will be getting some of the rewards of your salah. So it says you have to put a sutra, or you have to stay before the wall. Like many people used to do the mosque, they have to be in front of the pillars. The mosque is also good for you. So it says something a short distance in front of him, or the place where he prostrates, does a sajda. Such an object is called sutra, and is used when the person is praying alone. It's been used when you're praying alone. Actually, many people have said that the imam, once the imam is having a sutra, the sutra of the imam covers all the people praying behind the imam. And this is the reason why if you're praying, and once the imam is in front of the qibla, means in front of the wall, sutra, which is protecting, which is covering him from people walking, then we can pray without a sutra, even if someone is moving in between the line, because the sutra of the imam protects and covers you. But if you decide to pray alone, maybe you're nawafil, you have to put a sutra in front of you. If you fail to do and people walk in front of you, then they are not responsible for that. You are the one who failed to do the right thing. So a person passing in front of the person who is praying should pass on the outside of the sutra. It should pass behind the sutra, not between the praying person and the sutra. If someone is praying in congregation, then the imam acts as a sutra. The imam, however, must have his own individual sutra in front of him. So this is something which is very important and very compulsory. When we want to pray, we should put that in mind. And also, it says a qibla. Whenever a person is in the world, he should face the qibla. Wherever you are, you must make sure you face the qibla. Face the Kaaba, which is the qibla. So when he is going to pray, the Kaaba is the sacred mosque of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Facing towards the qibla, Kaaba is very important condition. Not even very important, it's compulsory. If you pray without facing the qibla, you have to repeat the salah again. So it says, facing towards the qibla is a very important condition of performance of the prayer. However, if the person is in a place such as a desert, jungle, unknown, strange city, or a place where he does not know the direction of the qibla, he should try his best to find out the qibla from others. However, if it is not possible, then he should use his judgment and face the direction which he thinks is the Qibla, and Allah will accept his prayer. It is important, this is the condition for the acceptance of you praying without facing the Qibla. If you want to pray, you must make sure you face the Qibla. And if you fail, let's say for example, you try the best to know where the Qibla is and you are not able to know, then Allah knows best that you've tried the best, that is that you don't know, so Allah will accept it. But if you know and you intentionally face away from the Qibla, then in that point in time, you are the one who will have to pray the Salah again because Allah will not accept it from you. Now, it is important to start a prayer facing the direction of the Qibla, and it does not matter if his direction changes while he is praying in a ship, a train, or an aeroplane. So if you want to pray in a plane, you should make sure you're facing the Qibla before you start your prayer. And the prayers you can pray in the plane are prayers which are not compulsory, like what the scholars have said. Now, you cannot pray the compulsory Salah in the plane because it's not the right place to pray. We can only pray the Nawafil because we found some authentic narrations that the Prophet ﷺ prayed while he was on his camel. But the prayer which he prayed while he was on his camel were not compulsory prayers. They were the Nawafil which he prayed on it. So nowadays the compass is available which gives the direction of Qibla. In strange places of aeroplane, it is useful instrument to possess. So whenever you want to travel, now, like I was saying, nowadays it's found everywhere, even on mobile phones. We can easily find the compass on it. So if you want to travel, and you don't have it, try to get one because you're going to need it. So most of the time, you find on your phone, there's an application here. If you have this kind of application on your phone, it's very good, like this Solat. And there's a section here. If you go to, there's a section here which is going to show you the Qibla. This is it. So if you place it, in a way, it's going to move. Now it's facing the direction of the Qibla here in Riyadh. This is the way it does. So if you place it flat this way, it's going to point to the Qibla, and that will allow you to know the direction. And if you don't have it on your phone, we have some small compass which have been sold. Try to make sure you go everywhere whenever you want to travel with it. But alhamdulillah, in the kingdom here, all the hotels, you're going to find the direction of the Qibla been written in it. So that makes it easy for you to know where the Qibla is. Now, another thing about intention. Intention is niyat. We must make sure that we have intention for whatever we want to do that has to do with that. But it's not compulsory you have to say it out, but you must have it in mind that you want to do something. After facing the Qibla, the person should make niyat. He should make niyat means that you make intention that he wants to what? He wants to pray. The intention made in mind, so the person should think about the particular obligatory, optional, or nafi prayer he intends to perform. For example, some people might decide to pray the prayer which is not compulsory. So you should have the intention that you want to pray on a prayer which is not compulsory. And if you want to pray a prayer which is compulsory, you must have the intention that you want to pray the Salah which is not compulsory. But sometimes we have been told that you can change your intention, that intention can change. For example, if you're praying a prayer which is Nawafil, and you, let's say, for example, someone is praying Nawafil, and someone else joins with the intention of praying a compulsory Salah, then it is acceptable for that person who joins you. But for you, you have your reward of a Nawafil, because you enter with the intention of praying a Salah, which is Nawafil. But the person who is praying the compulsory Salah would enter with you like he is praying a compulsory Salah. So the meaning is that you are the one, you have intention of what do you call it, of praying Nawafil. But anyone who joins you will be rewarded for praying a compulsory Salah if he has intention. So another thing we need to know is the Takbiratul al-Ihram. The takbiratul ihram is the first takbir which you give when you are praying. Now, many people, due to the fact they are rushing to pray, they will just come into Salah and they just say Allah Akbar and go down straight. They go to ruku. They go to ruku after the first Allah Akbar. They go straight to ruku. This is not good. Now that means you've not entered the Salah at all. You only give the takbir for what? For the ruku, not for the what? Not for the Salah. The takbir to al-ihram, or sometimes they call it the takbir to tahrim. It says after making the niyat that a person should start his prayer saying Allahu Akbar, raising both of his hands to the shoulder level, with the fingers stretching to the wall to the earlobes. Allahu Akbar. He should then fold his hands over his chest, the left to be on the chest first, then the right should be over it. And this first Allahu Akbar is called the takbiratu tahrima or takbiratu al-ihram. Because after saying it, it's forbidden for you to do anything on the salah, to talk, to move, to do whatever. So anything you want to do must be limited to what? To salah. So throughout the prayer, the eyes of the worshipper should be pointing to the spot where he wants to put the head on. Like people will do sometimes, they will pray, Allah Akbar, they'll be counting the number of lights we have on the roof. They'll be looking at the beautiful places in the mosque. You see some of them biting the fingers. This is not good. You are taking away from the reward of the salah. And if the movement is getting too much, you might even lose the word, you might even lose the salah itself. So this is the reason why. So this is the reason why it's been said that you should make sure that that you focus on the word on salah. So where should the irons be folded and placed after saying the takbiratul ihram? So we would, inshallah, we'll be stopping in this section. Inshallah, we will continue from there in the next class, which is going to be next week. So after you say the takbiratul ihram, where should you put your hands? Some people place their hands under the navel, others place them under the wall, under the chest. But there are hadith which state that the Prophet Muhammad used to place his hands over his chest. Al-Bati reported that I saw the Prophet praying his hands, the right over his left, over his chest. And while Ibn Hajar said, I prayed with the Prophet and he put his right hand over the left, over his chest. So there are some other narrations which state that some of the fuqaha, the scholars of fiqh, would say you can place the hands under the chest above the navel. Placing the hands in various positions is correct, but it's better to place them over the chest according to the practice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as we mentioned in authentic hadith, which we read to you earlier. So this is where we're going to stop for today. And I'm going to employ you to make sure you put all these things into practice. Make sure you're not listening to me only and going back without doing all these things. All the dua which I've said you should try to memorize, make sure you memorize them before the next class, because I'm going to test you on it. Everybody will read it to me. The dua the dua of durud after the adhan, which you say salah about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Make sure you memorize it properly. And also the dua, we should say, Allahumma rabba adi da'wati tamma wa salatu qa'ima. Make sure you memorize it properly also before the next class, because I'm going to ask everybody to read it to me individually. So, and I pray Allah will give us the best understanding of what we said so far. May He make us better Muslims in this life and the day hereafter. Salah is what the first thing which Allah would check on the day of resurrection. So if your salah is good, then all the things are okay. But if you're praying and your salah is not accepted, then what do you want to offer? What do you want to give to Allah on that day? So this is the reason why we deem it fit to make sure that we talk about salah and make sure that you get the right way to pray and according to the way the Prophet prayed. So if in case you have any question or some other contribution. Yes, Salam.
Yeah.
Do you have any question for me?
No.
Another one.
Solat and the Jahun and the Dream are with me.
Solat is what?
They're all with me.
They all. What did you say?
They are with me.
Do they have a question? They're not with you?
Do you have a question?
Absalam, I can't hear you.
They don't have a question.
Okay. طيب السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Like a